number 5 first, though?
Yeah, Asante Samuel Jr.
Shout out.
You at 5 too?
I absolutely do. Yeah.
So I've seen some rankings that have him really low in like the
Yeah.
10, 11, or 12 range, but
Mhm.
then a lot of people have him around that 4 or 5. And his big knock is that he's probably just going to be a slot corner.
Yeah, he's small.
But in my
man.
opinion, like if we drafted him, I don't know what round he's going to go because, like I said, some
I've
people
seen-
have him late first, second,
Yes.
third. Some people have him like fourth.
I've seen that.
Based
Yeah.
off the production and stuff, though, and what he was bringing to the table at Florida State, I'm assuming it's going to be higher as
Yeah.
opposed to later. So if we got him, that's the thing. Let's just focus on running back and offensive line. I'm just thinking because we got linebacker taken care of now. I'm
So
like,
that's the thing, though.
could
honestly.
our third need be cornerback now all of a
No,
sudden?
it is. So for me,
Someone we look at in the second or third round?
I was doing a couple of mocks, and that's what I was thinking. I'm like, all right, what's more pressing? I said, O-line is numero uno. If I can get one of the top 3 high-end backs early in the second, great. Then after that, I said, I'm looking for a corner. Because even though me and you and a good amount of Steeler Nation are high on James Pierre, some people are still thinking that Justin Lane, because he was more of a project when he got here, thinking that he's ready to take that next step. I still want to bring in another person of a little bit higher pedigree to just throw in that mix. Because we know Justin Lane was a high pedigree pick, but more development. We know James Pierre was a low pedigree pick, but he's really, produced. I want to just throw another guy in that mix. So now we have just another option. I'm not a fan of, all right, it's going to be one of these two, but this guy has really, been trending down where this guy's kind of trending up, but just the different variables around it. Just throw somebody else in there to just give us another, perspective to really gauge that. Because right now it could be just the whole recency bias of we saw James Pierre in week 17 in the playoffs. He played well. All right, Justin Lane, he played well at the beginning of the season. Then at the end of the year, he started to struggle. All right, well, Justin's been here longer. He hasn't produced. All right, we're going to give it to James. Like, I don't want that. And I don't want them to say, well, you know what, Justin, we drafted him higher. He's a great athlete. I think he brings a little more to the table from a range standpoint. But James Pierre is more productive. But we drafted Justin, so we're going to put Justin gets the opportunity. I don't want that. Give me another person in there. And now we can really go through this and decide, who's the really, who's going to be the most effective player. That's just how I think of it.
And it doesn't seem like he plays cornerback like Pierre, Justin Lane.
Yeah.
In my opinion, if he's there in like the third round and we somehow take him, like he'd be a good replacement for Mike Hilton.
Yeah.
It seems like he's not afraid to hit, get in the mix, blitz, just making plays out there.
The big thing with Asante, he's of the top like 6-7 corners, he's probably the smallest. I mean, he's about 5'10", 184. Where these other guys, I mean, Patrick Surtain, Caleb Farley, they're 6'2", J.C. Horn 6'1", the kid out of Georgia 6'2". Like, these some big corners. Whereas with Asante, he does, like, just stature-wise, figure more into the slot. Can he play on the outside? Sure, but what he's going to have is just great ball skills in terms of not interceptions, because you're not going to be as tall as some of these receivers. You're going to have to understand playing through these guys' hands. But we already know the problem that is with some of these elite receivers, they're not bringing it down.
Yeah,
so
Hopkins is going to one-hand it.
Exactly. So just by size alone, you're already at a competitive disadvantage. That's typically why he would slot more into this into the slot role, which is why I had him at 5 on mine, because I'm just like, I can't put him in that top 3 or anything like that if you're not at the NFL level going to play primarily out there. I just don't think he can do it.
I'm assuming that's why people have him sliding small, too, right? Because it's like, oh, do you want to...
He's productive, though. He's a
good
that's
what
player.
I'm saying. Like, do you want to spend a high draft pick on someone that's just going to be in the slot?
Yeah.
But without the NFL changing, how many snaps did Mike Hilton play last year?
Dude, they're going to play 80%,
and you just saw what he got
you're going to be in the slot. Yes.
So, like, if you had that guy that could just be a lockdown slot corner for you and make plays and is not afraid to hit people and blitz, that can make sense. So, if he's there in the third round, I'd be kind of pumped about that.
I would as well, man.
Yeah.
I definitely would.